We'll get things together for a chicken Alfredo night. Hope you enjoy.
Mulut cocok coba ku taklukkan Mikronensi supernova sosok Ledakan evolusi rubah skema monoton Mereka bertanya ini kenapa.
Hey folks, another fun-filled night here in Colorado Springs, making a chicken fettuccine Alfredo. I do this a lot because my wife loves this dish. Ain't that right, baby? Mm-hmm. So, got water boiling. Gonna go ahead and throw in the noodles while we cut up the chicken. Big shout out to Mississippi. You get a plate tonight. We'll put some garlic bread with it, and that should be pretty good. I cut up, I think, enough wood to handle it. I'm putting mushrooms in mine. I'm not putting any mushrooms in my wife's because she don't like mushrooms. So, but yeah, we're gonna get that working today. Let's start off with pulling our nice knife out. Anybody can get this. It's a Walmart special. Self-sharpening blade. About 15 bucks if you're lucky. We're gonna go ahead and take a 92-cent fettuccine, dry. Don't need to do anything crazy with it. What we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and drop it here in the pot. We'll use about 3/4 of it, and this is about a pound. So if you people are keeping tabs at home or in the street, 3/4 is about a pound. Remember, you're in an open fire, so this gets hot real quick. Hard to decide what time it is it's going to be on there. You're going to want to constantly stir it with what we call a pasta fork. This pasta fork will allow you to get into the pot and keep the water stirring and circulating. If you leave it too long in one spot, what'll happen is the pasta will fuse together and it won't be as productive or as nice as you want it to be. We do have a nice fire going.
No. Hold on.
What? Stop. I got a lot of pots and pans here, folks. Personally, I love my saute pan. It's one of those special, they're aluminum. They come with a special handle. I got used to working with these in a restaurant, so I'm pretty good at flipping. Water for cleaning. Put this off to the side, and while that is sitting there and creating a boil for itself and cooking off, we'll be turning it. At the same time, this pan will get hot, and we'll be able to cut up the chicken and anything else that we're putting in. I have put onions before. I don't think onions is a really good choice, but everybody's got their own taste buds, so whatever you see me doing here, you can add to. I personally like mushrooms. I think mushrooms go well in an Alfredo. So what we're gonna do here is, and we're not gonna make the Alfredo from scratch, folks. There's way too much work involved. I don't think anybody on the street should actually have to do that by scratch. A fire like this might do it though. So folks, got 2 massive chicken breasts. That's plenty enough for 3 people, because Mississippi's getting his dish tonight. A little tired of hearing him complain about not getting food. He lives all the way on the other side of town from us and stuff. Just a joke, Mississippi, just a joke. Anyway, it's real simple. What we're doing is butchering it. I'm cutting this breast down into little slips and slivers. I used to use Chinese cut chicken, which means I would freeze the chicken, and then I cut it into little strips, and we call it Chinese cut chicken. Do it any kind of way you want. Personally, I like thin slivers of chicken breast, cut up into little tiny pieces. It mixes well with the pasta, the sauce, and allows for a big flavor. Plenty of protein throughout the dish. You eat something like this at night, it's gonna stick to you, and I guarantee you, you're not gonna have a problem sleeping. It's one of those anomalies like the turkey. The turkey's got an enzyme in it that puts you to sleep. That's why everybody goes to bed on Thanksgiving Day. After everybody's had turkey, everybody's sleepy, everybody wants to go lie down. It's because of the enzyme that the turkey itself has that puts you to sleep. This doesn't really have that enzyme, it's chicken, but it'll stick to you. So, thin slivers. I personally let the pan get hot. I'll add a little bit of oil to it. I'll season this as we're sauteing, allowing it to blend into the flavors of the chicken itself. As you see, very thin cut. Very thin. And if you do that, you get a good measurement of chicken throughout the entire dish. I always take that, they call it the oyster of the breast. It's a little nub that comes off at the very end, at the top of the breast. I was always taught to take it off. I cook it and I eat it myself. It's kind of like chicken nuggets, but different. So, I'm watching the water boil. I'm cutting up my chicken. And you want to crawl it across the grains of the muscle of the chicken. That way you get a nice even cook and there's no tough parts of the chicken at all. It basically uses the strings and the vibrant pieces of the chicken itself. When it's broken up, you can see little lines going through it. I'm cutting across that. It allows me to cook the chicken evenly, and there won't be any hard parts of the chicken. Hard parts of the chicken or hard parts of any meat that you're cooking, it's because if they cut along the grain itself rather than against the grain, it toughens up the meat. Cut. And so, like I said, I just strain the water into another pot and I'll dump it later when I get the opportunity. I already dumped the first end. We have Alfredo noodles there, ready to go. You see the chicken's already cooked up. Like I said before, folks, making an Alfredo sauce from scratch is hard, especially here outside with a fire you can't regulate. Usually it's just a little bit of garlic, salt, pepper, at the very bottom with some olive oil. You get it heated up real good, throw some heavy cream in there, equal parts heavy cream and Parmesan cheese, you got yourself an Alfredo sauce once it starts bubbling and it's all mixed well. I personally, to save a lot of effort, a lot of grief, I get something called ragu. And I know it's a funny name. It's a long time healthy name. My mom cooked with ragu too. But I add a little bit of ragu Alfredo sauce to the chicken while it finishes cooking up, giving it that Alfredo flavor all the way down deep into the chicken itself as it's cooking. As you see, it mixes well in with the chicken. You might have to move it around a little bit yourself. Depends on how much you're cooking for. Like I said, I'm cooking for 3, so yeah, Mississippi, I ain't forgot about you. So with that in mind, the chicken's finishing off. I can go ahead and strain off the pasta. I got this handy dandy little thing called a strainer. It's a half strainer. It's used for smaller pots. However, we'll be straining it with this. Might have ran out of room. It allows for the pasta not to stick to each other. A little bit of oil in the pan too will give it some tactile. At the same time, we got this chicken cooking. I like to keep it on the fire. Cooked properly.
Oh,
Uh-oh.
the phone's going dead.
Phone's going dead?
Yeah,
Did I give you batteries?
yeah, give me just 1 second.
Huh?
It won't stop.
Well, in a couple of minutes, we'll have a finished dish. Stay tuned and we'll get it all plated up for you. So, as you see, it's a pretty simple procedure. This is what I do. The Alfredo sauce is cooking into the chicken itself. The chicken and Alfredo giving it a nice unique flavor. I'll add the rest, which is about half the jar of the Alfredo sauce, and I'll mix it into the pasta that I just strained out, and it's cooked. So I'll mix that through, let it all bite into it for a little bit, get that Alfredo flavor through all the pasta, mix it well, get everything coated. The water residue at the bottom will probably give you a nice little base. The reality is that I add a little bit of milk to the rest of the sauce in the jar to get the rest of it out of it. The milk will thicken and solidify, and it'll coat well with the Alfredo sauce. Not too much. I would say maybe a third of a cup of water, which is enough to rinse out the rest of the Alfredo here and add to the pasta. So it gives you the most bang for the buck. We'll mix that through with our tongs here. Make sure everything's got that little bit of Alfredo. We'll set that back onto the fire so it'll all cup up. Give a nice little temperature jump. And this is what we got here, folks. This is a chicken Alfredo. That's the star of the show here, the chicken. Gordon Ramsay talks about heroes in every one of his dishes. The protein is usually the hero. Not always, but in this sense of the word, it is. So we're mixing the chicken Alfredo itself back in with the pasta to give it all a nice, good touch. And that chicken flavor will cook through everything.
Okay.
So folks, I've given them a nice browning, garlic knots, and I'll put them up here on the top level of my fire pit, and it'll work sort of like an oven. Not 100% like it, but it'll keep it that way, and it'll cook it the rest of the way off. It's off the flame. All we got here is now is the plate. So let's see if we can't get a nice plate for you. And as you see, the chicken's mixed in real well with it. Gives it a nice flavor. Everything's coated with the Alfredo sauce. And just to top it off, here we go. Oh, wow, that hot. They're hot. Beautifully hot. We have 2 garlic nuts, chicken Alfredo, and just folks, because you live outside, doesn't mean you can't be a little fancy. Basil is great. It gives off a nice little color. And there you have it, folks. Chicken Alfredo and garlic nuts. Quick, easy. That's all.